Hello guys, welcome to the IITM GATE classes. As we are discussing the solution on previous year GATE question paper on the mechanical subjects. Now today we are going to start heat transfer subjects and we are going to see the solution of mechanical set 1 GATE 2020 problems. Now let's have a look on the brief look on basically the number of questions and the question pattern. So here we are going to see the total number of questions that were asked were 3. Out of that, the 1 mark question were 2 and the 2 mark question was 1. So the total number of questions that were asked were 3 and the weightage was around 4%. Now, coming to the question number 1, we have to match the following non-dimensional number with their corresponding definitions. Now basically, to have a match with the non-dimensional number and the definitions, we should be knowing something about the non-dimensional number and their physical significance. So one by one, we are going to do the analysis of non-dimensional number. So first of all, we are going to see the Reynolds number. First of all, we are going to see Reynolds number. What are its application and what is the physical significance of Reynolds number? So basically, it is a ratio of inertia force to the viscous force, and inertia force we know that rho L square V square, and we know that viscous force mu VL. So rho L V divided by mu, that is a formula for Reynolds number. Now, where mu is nothing but dynamic viscosity. So coming to the application, one major application of Reynolds number is that the fluid flowing in a pipe. The fluid flowing in a pipe, and let's have the physical understanding of Reynolds number, or basically it is a criteria for the fluid flow types. Basically, it is a criteria for the fluid flow and its classification. Means that let's assume that we have the two types of flow, laminar flow and turbulent flow. So whenever any fluid is flowing inside the pipe or on the flat plate or in a duct, that is non-circular duct, so how we can come to know that whether the flow is laminar or turbulent? So that is going to be decided by Reynolds number. So it is a criteria for fluid flow types, that is laminar and turbulent flow. Now I'm giving the example for Reynolds number for circular pipe. So whenever Reynolds number is less than 2000, so that flow we call as, or we classify as, the laminar flow. Whenever it is less than 2000 and basically more than 2000 and less than 4000, we classify as transition flow. Whenever fluid flow, that is the Reynolds number, more than 4000, then we classify under turbulent flow. That is a whole soul, basically the idea of using non-dimensional number called as Reynolds number. Yes, of course, the 2000 value and 4000 values are different for different duct as well as flow over the flat plate. Now coming to the second number, we'll be having Nusselt number. So this is the number mostly we use in heat transfer rather than fluid mechanics. Now it is a ratio of conductive resistance offered by fluid if it were stationary to the surface convective resistance. that is nothing but R conductive, R convective. So we can have R conductive as L by Ka, and R convective is nothing but 1 upon Ha. So basically if we calculate, then we are going to get HL divided by K, that is K of fluid. That means the Nusselt number talks about conduction and convection in fluid medium only. So we have one Biot number also. We have one Biot number, and that is nothing but same formula we have, but K is nothing but solid. So Biot number we use as the temperature distribution between the solid and basically solid and fluid boundary. But Nusselt number only talks about the conduction and convection in the fluid medium only. That is the major difference between Nusselt number and Biot number. So that is all about Nusselt number. Now let's have a look on the third number, that is Grashof number. Grashof number basically we denote by GR, and we have one formula GB delta T LCQ divided by mu square. Now by the formula it is not clear whether it is on what forces it is dependent. So we have the definition of inertia force into buoyancy force divided by viscous force square. That means it is going to relate buoyancy force with viscous force. The buoyancy force with the viscous force. Now let me say what is the meaning of buoyancy force and why we use the buoyancy force here. Basically, the driving force in free convection for motion is buoyancy force only. Basically, the driving force in the free convection is basically a buoyancy force. Due to the buoyancy force only, there is a density difference. There is a density difference of the fluid, so that the fluid start moving, and that is all about the free convection. So the Grashof number plays the same function as the Reynolds number function in the force convection. So Grashof number plays a significant role as the Reynolds number in free convection. Force convection, there is a driving force, is not a buoyancy force. There is a driving force, some external agent, or maybe due to some external driving force is there, so that the fluid start moving with some velocity. But in the free convection, there will not be much velocity. It is just flowing with the help of buoyancy force. So that is whole and basic idea about the Grashof number. So it relates the buoyancy force and the viscous force. Now let's have a look of now let us talk about the Prandtl number and its significance. So it is the only number which is a property of the fluid. It is the only non-dimensional number. It is only the non-dimensional number which is property of the fluid. Which is nothing but the property of the fluid. Now, what is the Prandtl number we have? It is a ratio of kinematic viscosity. It is a ratio of kinematic viscosity to thermal diffusivity. Basically, we denote by mu by alpha, where nu is nothing but mu by rho, that is dynamic viscosity to the density, and alpha is nothing but k by rho Cp. So if we are going to calculate, we are going to get mu Cp divided by k. But what is the physical significance of Prandtl number, which we are going to see? Now, the Prandtl number signifies the relative magnitude of hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness and thermal boundary layer thickness. As the definition itself, it is saying the kinematic viscosity, that is the momentum diffusion rate, and thermal diffusivity is nothing but the thermal diffusion rate. How fast the movement is transferring as compared to the heat propagation or heat transfer. So that is whole talks about basically a magnitude of the relative magnitude of hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness and thermal boundary layer thickness. So that is about the Prandtl number. Now, let's move back to the question number 1 again, and we can see the option now. Basically, Reynolds number is nothing but inertia force to the viscous force, so which is going to match with the 3. Now, the Grashof number, I told you that it is a ratio of buoyancy force and the viscous force, which are going to match with the 1. And the Nusselt number, we know that the convective heat transfer in the fluid and conductive heat transfer in the fluid. So that is nothing but option 4, and the Prandtl number is going to be the option 2. So if you match with the D option, P3, Q1, R4 and S2, that is going to correct. 3, 1, 4, 2 is going to be correct answer for question number 1. Now moving on to the question number 2. Now it is in a concentric tube, the counterflow heat exchanger, the hot oil enters at 102 degrees centigrade and leaves at 65 degrees centigrade, and the cold water enters 25 and leaves 42 degrees centigrade. Then what is the logarithmic mean temperature difference? LMTD, which we need to find. So counterflow, we know that whenever the direction of fluid of hot and the cold fluid will be different, then we call it as counterflow. Let's say the hot fluid which is moving and it is coming out, and cold fluid is moving inside and it is coming out. So this one is nothing but delta Ti, and this difference we are calling delta Te. Now marking the temperature, Thi is given as 102 degrees centigrade and it is living at 65 degrees centigrade. Cold water which is entering at 25 degrees centigrade and living at 42 degrees centigrade. So if we are going to calculate the differences, here we have the difference 40 and here we have the difference of 60. So delta T1 is 60 and delta T2 is 40 degrees centigrade. So LMTD is nothing but delta T1 minus delta T2 divided by ln of delta T1 divided by delta T2. So this is, we have the formula of LMTD, log base E. So if you are putting the value 60 minus 40 divided by log base E, 60 divided by 40. So if you are going to calculate, we are going to get answer 49.3 degrees centigrade. So the answer will be 49.3 degrees centigrade, that is round up to 1 decimal places. So that is all about the counterflow heat exchanger. Whatever the discussion happened, that is only valid for counterflow heat exchanger, where the direction of fluid flow, that is hot and cold fluid, is different, that is opposite. So that is all about the question number 2. Now let us look The question number 3. In this one, a small metal bead initially at 100 degrees centigrade when placed in a steam of fluid which is having a temperature 20 degrees centigrade. Now after some amount of time, it attains a temperature of 28 degrees centigrade in 4.35 seconds. Now the density basically and the specific heat of the metal is given. Now if the bead is considered as the lumped system, then what is the heat transfer coefficient? Now, so basically we are going to solve this question. Now, solution of this question. First of all, there is a lumped system. So this particular analysis is called as lumped system analysis. We will be looking a brief introduction about something about the lumped system analysis. Now, first of all, what is a lumped body? We are going to see what is a lumped body or lumped system. A lumped body whose temperature at all the location in the solid will be same. In the solid will be same at a given or at any given instant of time. Now that is a discussion. Let's have an idea about what is the meaning of the whatever the definition we already have about the lumped body. Now let's say at time t equal to 0, we are going to see with respect to position the temperature of the body. Let's say temperature of the body is T1 at all location, x equal to 0, x equal to 1 meter, x equal to 2 meter, x equal to 3 meter. At all the distances, we are seeing that the temperature of the body after the heat transfer, the temperature of the body is exactly same with respect to time. That means this particular body having some thermal conductivity approaching to infinity. That's why the heat is transferring at a very, very faster rate in such a way that the temperature is not a function of time. The temperature is not a function of space. It is a function of only the time. So that type of system is called as lumped system, and that analysis we call lumped system analysis. For that particular thing and to have the validity about the lumped system, we are calculating the Biot number. Let's have a look. Biot number, that is R conduction into the solid of R convection. That is nothing but HLC divided by K, that is K of solid. Now, if Biot number is very, very less, the meaning is that the conductive resistance offered by the solid will be less. That means if conductive resistance is approaching to 0, that means the heat will flow at a very, very faster rate. So the temperature will not be the function of space. It will only become the function of time. Now, if Biot number is less than 0.1, then analysis we call lumped system analysis. That is, the lumped system analysis is valid. When Biot number is less than 0.1, the lumped system analysis is going to valid. Otherwise, if Biot number more than 0.1 or around 300, around 100, that lumped system analysis is not going to valid. In that case, we need to approach some other than this lumped system analysis. Now, as per the given question, the body is there. There is small bead that is of a spherical shape. We can assume the shape as the spherical shape. The bead we can assume as a spherical shape in which it is at a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade. When it is placed in the environment, it is going to cool again. and attains a temperature of 28 degrees centigrade in 4.35 seconds. Now, so I can clearly say that the rate of decrease of internal energy, going to be heat transfer by convection. Heat transfer by convection. That means that minus mCp dt by dt is going to be HAS T minus T infinity. Now, we will be doing some amount of integration here. Okay. Here we are going to see minus rho VCP dt by dt equal to HAS tau T minus T infinity. Here minus n we kept because dt by dt is decreasing. Basically, it is negative. The temperature is decreasing with respect to time of the solid body or of the bead. Now, if we are integrating, so we'll be having HAS tau divided by rho VCP, that is T minus T infinity. Now I can take, let me remove some portion. So we are going to have dt T minus T infinity, that is T naught to T, that is initial temperature to some temperature, let us say 28 degrees centigrade, which is basically reached in 4.35 seconds. HAS dt divided by rho VCP. Now, the integration of 1 upon dx by x is nothing but log x, and that is going to give me T minus T infinity divided by T naught minus T infinity equal to minus HAS tau divided by rho VCP. Finally, we are going to have T minus T infinity divided by Ti minus T naught minus T infinity as e power minus HAS tau divided by rho VCP. And that is a governing formula for lumped system analysis when Biot number less than 0.1. Now it's a matter of only putting the value and getting the answer. So again, we are coming back to the question. Question number 3. We have the governing equation, that is T minus T infinity divided by T naught minus T infinity e power minus HAS tau divided by rho VCP. Tau is nothing but time in second, and volume by surface area of the spherical body is nothing but 4 by 3 pi r cube, and heat transfer surface area is nothing but 4 pi r square. So if you are going to calculate, you are going to get r by 3. R by 3, that is nothing but characteristic, basically length. So temperature 28 minus T infinity 20 divided by 100 divided by minus 20, which we are going to get e power minus h. We need to calculate surface area by volume. I am writing as 3 by r, 3 into 1000. R is nothing but 0.5. Density is given 8500 and 400 of specific heat at constant pressure, and time is given at 4.35. So if we are going to calculate finally by taking log on both the sides, the h value we are going to get as 299.95 watt per meter square Kelvin, and that is matching with the option B, that is 299.8. So that is all about. We have small metal bead which are placed in the stream of the fluid 20 degrees centigrade, and we need to find out heat transfer coefficient. So that is the question about lumped system analysis, where the Biot number must be less than 0.1. Here we cannot calculate the Biot number is less than 0.1 or not, because the Biot number formula is HL divided by K of solid. Here data is not sufficient because we need to calculate the H value. So that's why they have mentioned that if the bead is considered as lumped system, so we have to assume and then we need to solve for H value. So that is all about the question number 3, and that is all about the GATE 2020 mechanical set 1 heat transfer. So thank you guys.